It's been a minute. It's been since right before Christmas. Haven't made any videos since then because we had the Christmas holidays and then I got sick, and I'm better now. I'm on the mend, and I want to talk about taking care of yourself because we're at that point in time where whatever New Year's resolution you made, if you made one, is probably falling apart. The wheels are probably coming off the bus. And I want to talk about the fact that we set these sometimes unrealistic expectations of ourselves, but they're only unrealistic because we might lack the willpower, or we talk ourselves out of it, or we give ourselves an out. We let ourselves off the hook. And the last few weeks I've been sick, just seasonal cold stuff. No big deal, but it's had my head clogged up like crazy. Worst head cold I've ever had with all the congestion. So this isn't really applicable to that, but going into this new year, it's not just because it's a new year. It's not because of resolutions or anything like that. There's no better time to start taking care of yourself than right now. And you owe it to yourself. Everybody should feel good. You should feel the best that you can feel. And there's so many times where we either let ourselves off the hook, or we don't prioritize our health, or this, that, or the other. We find all these excuses to make excuses for ourselves to not take care of ourselves, not prioritize our own health. And I'm not just talking about eating vegetables and lifting weights or going on a run or something like that. I'm talking about a holistic viewpoint of your personal health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you're so inclined, as I am. You owe it to yourself to tend to your health. And you have to think about it. Like, you're not making these decisions for yourselves right now. You're not making them for your summer bod or anything like that. This is a lifelong thing. You owe it to yourself to feel your best. So make decisions that lead to that end. It's not rocket science. Input equals output. So I think a lot of times we forget that. If you are inputting junk, if you're inputting garbage, if you're inputting negativity, that stuff is going to be what comes down the pipeline for you, because that's the way it works. That's the way the world works. The universe, even beyond the world, like input equals output, junk in equals junk out. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. I mean, we've got a pour right here. I enjoy a pour of bourbon fairly regularly. This is kind of one of my things. It's like dessert to me. Now, I don't overindulge, obviously. You don't want to do that, but enjoyed in moderation, to me, very relaxing. Other people have a huge problem with it and need to completely cut it out of their life, and that's okay as well. You've got to be honest with yourself about what you need and what you don't need in your life. But got this Russell's Reserve. This is a barrel pick that we did, and very happy about this one. Get to release it today as of the recording of this. You might not see this video until tomorrow, but I'll raise a glass to you. Fantastic. Oh, super dense sweetness. I really love this. Cheers. Man, that's so good. Okay. I can say all this stuff, but how does it work on a practical level, right? Like, how do you pull this off when you have days where you fail, where you fall off the wagon, as it were? Like, let's say I was trying not to eat sugar for the month of January. What happens if I break down and eat a candy bar? Oh, well, that's one time. Don't let that one mistake affect the rest of your month. Just win more than you lose. I've talked about this before. Positive results are just a byproduct of making more right decisions towards the ends that you want to accomplish than making wrong decisions, or making one wrong decision and completely blowing it, like viewing it as you completely blew it, and then letting yourself off the hook and completely going off the rails. So I mentioned all this just because of the time of year. I mentioned this because I've been under the weather with a seasonal cold. And what it made me realize is that, it's great to have money in your bank account. It's great to not have things you have to worry about, this, that, and the other. But to have your health and have your health taken away from you, even with something as simple as a common cold, even though that this common cold absolutely leveled me in a way that I've never been leveled before. Health is wealth. Like taking care of yourself and ensuring that you're feeling your best, there is nothing more valuable than that. So that's why I bring this up. It just so happens to coincide with the timing. There's quite a few other topics I want to talk about, and we're going to get into in the weeks to come. A lot of that is going to be some thought processes around how self-focused we are. And I'm sitting here having a video on like, hey, focus on yourself, focus on taking care of yourself. I'm going to go right against that in the coming weeks as far as our self-focus on where we put our attention and where we gain our value and where we gain our identity. I want to talk about that a little bit in the coming weeks. There's a couple of other topics I want to talk about as well. How I've had some things happen in my life recently where you get to see, oh, this one decision I made 10 years ago, it has impacted my life back then, and it continues to impact my life now, and it is going to forever impact my life. Some of that stuff is positive, some of it is negative. I'm seeing it happen with other people that are in my life. I'm seeing decisions that they made years ago and the way that those decisions are impacting them now and in the future. And this is stuff I've talked to my daughter about recently as well, about how, there's a lot of little decisions you make on a day-to-day basis. Like, hey, I'm going to not eat that thing that I don't need to eat, or I'm not going to consume that thing I need to consume, or I'm going to do the thing I need to do, that one little thing that's going to add up over time and lead to me getting the results that I want and the life that I want for myself. That stuff matters. Equally, you have to think about the decisions you make. There's a lot of little decisions that don't really make a hill of beans of difference in the grand scope of your life, but there are things and times in your life where you make decisions that are going to impact you forever. And so you have to think about those sorts of things as well. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in having that foresight to say, hey, this is a big one. I've got to pay attention to this decision. So we're going to talk about some of that here in the coming weeks as well. And also whatever is on my mind, whatever's on my heart, that's what this channel's for, is just for me to hang out, talk with you guys, share whatever's at the forefront of life at that moment in time. And it's a way for me to get it off my mind and hopefully help you as well, or at least trigger some thought on your end. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Cheers.